already we've heard from you. Courage is feeling the fear and doing it anyway.
That's
and
really
you can't have real courage unless there's something you're really afraid of.
I agree.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
So, everybody, right after last week's show with Iyanla, Tony texted me. I was so happy Tony texted me. I just got a text. And he was texting me actually about our guest Steve. Remember Standing Up for Steve? Standing with Steve. Steve is a father who says that he is 10 years sober but barely hanging on. To support Steve, to support him, we had a moment that moved thousands of you when we were in St. Louis and became a worldwide trend online. Take a look at this.
I was using drugs and alcohol for over 20 years. Here I am, 48 years old. I don't have a steady job. I don't have a car, and I'm living with my daughter. And I've lost everything. At times, I feel like I was happier when I was using. I feel more pain in sobriety. And since I've been sober, there's pain inside of me I don't get. If things don't turn around, why not just go drink again?
I want you to stand up with Steve in this audience. Any addiction, with you, a family member, somebody you know, a loved one, a partner, an ex, stand with Steve in the balcony so that he knows that he is not alone.
Steve, come on up here. Y'all keep standing. I want to keep standing. Keep standing with Steve. Look at the people who are standing with Steve. Wow. That was a powerful moment last week. And Tony was watching the show last week, and he texted me because he said, it's wonderful that everybody was standing with Steve, but Steve is going to have, obviously you all know, this is about a breakthrough moment and then creating a strategy for your life so that you can continue to stand for yourself. So Tony was saying, I want to help him. I said, Tony, I already told Steve he was going to come see you.
But it makes a really important point. It was such a beautiful moment. We're all moved by it. I've been homeless myself, so I know what that feeling is like where you feel like somebody cares about you. But my concern was, oftentimes that becomes a new high, and unless you develop standing up for yourself,
right,
it doesn't last, because we're all going to go away at some stage.
Right.
And we've seen this happen so many times, where everybody means well, and there's this enthusiasm and energy. See, everybody has the fear that we're not enough, that we're not worth enough, that we're not strong enough, smart enough, rich enough, happy enough, young enough, old enough, whatever. And we're all afraid if we're not enough, we won't be loved.
Yeah.
And so our solution to that is to come up with basically one of two things: a way to solve it and come up with a story of our life like you have, where you've somehow overcome it no matter what, or we come up with a story why our life is this way and it's not my fault. And that's the story that really destroys us. And I want to make sure Steve, walking out of that, didn't just walk out with enthusiasm, but walked out with skills. And that's why we invited him.
So Steve is back tonight. After 4 days, he spent 4 days at Tony's workshop event this week. Stand up, Steve. Stand up.
It's Steve.
What happened to you this week?
Excuse me?
What happened to you this week with Tony?
First of all, you got to do it right. Yes! 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 Tony's absolutely amazing. He hit it on the head when he mentioned about when I was going to go home, what I was going to do after that. It's like it was a high, and I knew I was going to work with it the best I had, but I did need some more help somewhere. And when I got that call, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So what was the breakthrough?
The breakthrough was just finding out what my fears were and have the strategy.
Yeah. So what was the story you were telling yourself? Because that's what we're all learning about, why we get stuck. We're stuck in our stories.
In layman's terms, I was no good. I was beating myself up. I couldn't accomplish anything. I just was just no good.